Okay, ignore the initial thought that I am so black that you can't see anything but my eyes and my white t-shirt, but really start to try to focus on what I'm about to say. I know you're not judging me, bro. I know you don't have a problem with black people. Be quiet. I was just saying. I was just. I even think that when I look at the camera, don't worry about it. When I look at the camera, I say, "Oh shit, I'm too black. You can't even see me." You know what I mean? So it's cool that you think the same thing because it's an initial thought. If I have it by myself, you are free to think the same thought. Just don't say it out loud because then it's disrespectful. But I won't mind because I know that you won't do such things, bro. We're here, bro. We're here. We're here. Okay. Okay. Anyway, the reason I'm recording this video is because one, I thought it would be kind of funny. Two, I'm bored as fuck right now. Three, it's hella late and nobody else is up. So I thought, hey, I might as well make a video while I have an excuse to be retarded right now. Because I don't want to say it on video because people are going to say, oh, you do that. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of do that sometimes. You know what I mean? And it kind of results in things like these. But anyway, so I wanted to make this because I'm bored, and I was going to show it to you because I want to laugh myself because I know it's going to be kind of funny because it was stupid and I laughed at myself when I did it. But okay, so I was going on Facebook and this girl sent me this message. She was not attractive, let's just say that much, but I knew her from my old school in Cleveland. So she was like, yeah, come see me in New York or in Turkey. Me being bored, I sent back, I was like, oh, who's in Turkey? So she was like, me. I was like, oh, for what? Because usually I don't even message her back. So I kind of feel like an asshole for only messaging her back because I had nobody else to talk to at the moment. I don't even know why I didn't text. I'm not going to say her name because me and her might not even talk later. And then I'm going to look at this video and be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that because we're not even talking. So you know who I'm talking about, but I didn't even text her. I don't know why. I don't even know if she's up. I don't want to text her right now because I don't want to text her first. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Shit, got to text me. But anyway, so she was like, oh, I'm in Turkey. So I went on her page and I looked at her stuff because I looked at her pictures because I actually looked at her pictures. It's weird to say, but I actually looked at her pictures because I was intrigued about how unattractive she was. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't attracted to her beauty. I was attracted, like, not attracted, but intrigued and interested in her lack thereof. You know what I mean? Like, I was fascinated with the fact that somebody can be so visually challenged. Let's just say that because I'm not trying to say I look better than nobody. I'm not trying to be conceited or nothing, but, like, shit, you always know some people just fell out the fucking face of the earth and fell in the fucking lake of ugliness and just couldn't get the fuck out and they got scarred for life. So you know, don't judge me. You know you be thinking the same thing when you see some ugly lady walk down the street. You can't say you don't know that some people are ugly. You just don't want to say it out loud because you don't want to be offensive and rude and mean. But I don't give a fuck because no, she's not gonna know that I said these things because I'm not gonna even say her name. But she is in Turkey and she had this friend. She was like, oh, I'm stalking my baby. And I looked at the girl's page, and it was this big, fat Turkish girl. And fuck, I sound like an asshole. But anyway, I'm just being real with you. Like, this is letting you into my mental processes because everybody has these random thoughts, and they just never speak on them. You know what I mean? But I was like, hey, I don't give a fuck. Turn the censor off and say what the fuck you want to say. So I'm looking at her pictures, and she's so fat, and I'm yet again fascinated that somebody could be so fat. You know what I mean? And she was happy. She was taking like smiling pictures, and they were at a group of people, like her and a group of friends at a restaurant. Sure, she couldn't fit at the table correctly, but she was happy. She was sitting there at the table happy. So I was like, okay. I was bored and lounging in the chair, so I was kind of scratching my nuts at the same time. And I was like, oh my God, like how can somebody be so big and unattractive? And I was like, ugh, fuck. I know I just said scratching my nuts out of nowhere, but I promise you, it ties into the story. I promise you. So I was like, you look at her, you notice, you're like, oh man, the ugly girl from my old school went to Turkey and hangs with a group of ugly people. So they're the ugly people of the school. Like they're that group. You know what I mean? Not to say that I judge people like that because fuck, I sound like an asshole. But I'm not an asshole. I'm just being real. Like everybody, I'm sure everybody thinks these things. Despite what we say, we think these things. So I thought that, and I was like, oh shit, she's that person with that group of people. She's that that. So I was like, fuck, how can you people be so unfortunate? Not that it's a bad thing, but it's not enjoyable. So I was like, oh man, like, how can that happen? And I was scratching my nuts at the time. I was like, oh shit. When they say something about if I'm pregnant, it's a country fable, like country little folk tale. So like if a pregnant lady's like holding her stomach or talking about somebody while she's pregnant, like if she's talking about somebody's head has a big head, her child will potentially come out to have a big head. So I was like, oh shit, I'm scratching my nuts. Those are my reproductive organs. And if I'm talking about this fat girl and this ugly girl, what if my daughter comes out fat, fucked up, and ugly? I'm like, what the fuck? So I had to jump up and I had to knock on the table because I had to knock on wood. I couldn't think of anything else to do because I had already thought the thought. And I was like, fuck. And I was scratching my nuts at the same time. I was like, oh shit, I done cursed my babies. And I'm like, no, my daughter will not come out fat. She will come out doing P90X, my nigga. She will be fit, lean, and attractive. I don't give a fuck if she had to have plastic surgery by the age of 3. She will have plastic surgery and P90X to avoid being some fat, ugly, I'm not going to say nasty, but girl in some foreign country. So that's why I wanted to tell you that, because don't scratch your nuts talking about unattractive people and qualities that you don't want to have in your future kids. And the second reason I told you is because we must do everything that we can to ensure that our kids have a good future. If it requires them having plastic surgery at the age of 3, if my little daughter is fucked up, if her face is just fucked up, and I know, she gonna be pretty to me, but shit, I'm gonna think outside the box, you know what I mean? I'm gonna think of her life outside of the home. Everybody, she gonna have a face on her mother could love, like only her mama gonna love that face. And if she's out in the real world, like other people are not gonna be her mama, and she gonna be the ugly girl. So I'm gonna be a good dad, and I'm gonna get her plastic surgery. I don't give a fuck what people think. If she 3 years old, she going under the knife. Like, she getting that ugly cut off her face and getting pretty attached to it. You know what I mean? Like, cut the ugly out, put the pretty on, sew it in, glue it up, staple it. Whatever the fuck you gotta do to get this baby to be attractive for a baby. Because we're not looking at babies like that, but I want her to grow up. And if she had to have multiple surgeries, like at every fucking milestone, she gonna have to have it. But I'm gonna put one fucked up spot on her face to keep niggas from being thirsty for her, because I don't want her having sex before she, 18, because be real, 16, because probably even 14, because motherfuckers having sex early these days, and we just got to be realistic, because looking at the times, like, if people are doing it at age 14 now, shit, they might be doing it at 8 or 10, 8, probably even 6 in the future, So our kids are gonna be in a rougher environment than we are. Like, I commend you for not having sex, and I respect that, but these motherfuckers are out here doing it like they don't have no fucking good sense. They just out here fucking doodling, woo woo, fuck you, poop, poop, fuck you, bye. Now I'll see you at the fucking break area tomorrow while we drink our juicy juice. It's that type of shit these days. And we got to be prepared. So we want our kids to be attractive. That's lesson number 3. We want our kids to be attractive, but not too attractive where they attract too much unwanted attention. We just want them to be acceptable. You know what I mean? Okay. Don't have to be attractive, but definitely not ugly. Just average. Or a little bit slightly average. More than average. So we got to work hard to make money to afford these surgeries. That's why you got to stay in school. See, I told you it was a good point to this whole story. I told you it was going to tie back in and make sense. That's why you got to continue to work hard and ensure your success for your future, so you can ensure your future potentially, possibly, maybe, not going to say anything about your daughter being that, but if your daughter happens to be, either of our daughters happen to be unattractive, we should have the funds to cover it and fix that for her to be a happy young girl, so she won't end up going to a foreign country and being the ugly person. Stay in school, kid. It's good.